Hello and welcome to Glenn ZB TV for Tuesday, the show that puts Glenn ZB into your virtual headset. Yes, I'm bringing New Zealand to the world. And the world to New Zealand. And Miss Universe was crowned overnight. We've got Catriona Gray from the Philippines. She beat contestants from 93 other countries. I'm just trying to think how many countries there are. I think there's more than 93. So I guess Miss Universe is a thing in some countries, not all countries. Anyway, she's a 24-year-old Filipina Australian, but she won it for the Philippines, not for Australia. And I mean, obviously, it's changed. Miss Universe. It's not like the old days. It's mostly about how big their brains are. Canada recently joined Uruguay as the second nation in the world to make marijuana legal. What is your opinion on the legalization of marijuana? They asked Catriona. And she answered, I'm for it being used in a medical use, but not so for recreational use, because I think if people were to argue, what about alcohol and cigarettes? Well, everything is good, but in moderation. And you can't argue with that if people were to argue. So yeah, I think I've got a picture of her brain here. That's Catriona Gray. She seems to have very long fingernails. Distracted by the fingernails, sorry. Let's get on with this Waterfront Stadium before people find reasons not to build it. The Auckland Waterfront Consortium is warning decision makers they need to get a move on if Auckland is to get their free waterfront stadium. If Auckland councillors have to examine the proposal, it could delay the process, and if that happens, there might not be a waterfront stadium for major events in 2030. 2030? 2030? I was hoping they were going to have it ready for January 9th when the first 2020 is going to be played there. So that's not happening. Here it is. The what did we decide we were going to call it? The toilet bowl? Is that what we were going to call it? No, maybe it isn't. It's sort of. I feel like that's going to stick now. Now we've got good news and bad news around. Mycoplasma bovis. That's the most disturbing picture of Mycoplasma bovis I could find. The good news is, apparently, we have actually nearly eradicated it. That whole plan to get rid of it completely, it seems to be working. While other wussy countries just try and control it, we are hunting it down and terminating it. The bad news is that it is fun to say, Mycoplasma bovis, and it's relatively easy to spell. And we won't have to do either of those things if we get rid of it completely. So, swings and roundabouts, I suppose. And finally, once again, we have a very rare visitor to beaches in a city. Does that work? Can you say once again we have a very rare visitor? Anyway, a large female elephant seal has been spotted in various places around the coastline since yesterday morning in Auckland. And as always happens in these very, very rare situations that hardly ever happen because they're so very rare, please keep your distance. Don't get too close. So there it is. That looks like Takapuna Beach to me. Might not be, but it might be. Is that person too close? Why would you want to? I can almost smell it from here. And they have very sharp teeth as well. So, anyway. Look out! Imagine if it swam up next to you. I bet you wouldn't want to be too close to it then. Anyway, I am Glenn ZB. Very rare. Hardly ever happens except all the time. I am Glenn ZB. Thank you so much for having me in your virtual headset. See you back here again tomorrow. Even less rare for another episode of Glenn ZB TV.